Good morning and welcome to today's more important analysis videos on Tuesday the 24th of October with me, Rich Market Analyst at Hantec Markets. We've got a fairly flat, fairly sort of quiet open really, nothing too significant in terms of direction, and that's coming with the markets ahead of sort of a whole clutch of risk events really towards the back end of this week. You've got the ECB meeting on Thursday, you've got US GDP first look at Q3 on Friday, and also this suggestion that Donald Trump will be announcing the new Fed chair in the next, well, certainly before he goes to Asia on the 3rd of November. So all these events are sort of meaning that traders are fairly settled, fairly sort of unwilling to take an enormous punt on direction. You've seen the dollar, which is basically sideways. Sort of in the last sort of few hours, nothing massively doing in terms of direction on treasury yields. That's the 10-year sort of broadly sideways, a little bit higher today, but broadly sideways nonetheless. But we have had an interesting drop on Wall Street yesterday. There was a bit of a correction last night. First real correction that we've seen for several weeks, really. And that was 0.4% down on the S&P 500. And you could also say that was a bear key one-day reversal, which is something to keep an eye on. And that has seen volatility on the VIX spike higher. But that's probably just in light of that corrective move, rather than a sign that we're going to see a significant market correction. The Wall Street markets have been so strong recently that a one-day correction is not necessarily big news yet. So let's just sort of be a little bit calm and sort of look ahead towards the risk events towards the back end of this week, really to drive the market direction as we go through. So what we have got is basically no real direction. Euro, sterling, and also yen, little moving against the dollar. You've got equity markets which are buzzing around the flat line. That DAX has been higher and lower all day, a little bit higher at the moment, as has the CAC and FTSE. Gold is slightly weaker, and we've seen the oil price slightly lower as well, but generally really nothing massively doing in terms of direction. We've got the flash PMIs today. We've had the Eurozone data today in the early European session. A little bit disappointing actually on the Eurozone flash PMIs. Slightly weaker than expected on the services and the composite, and that's coming as the German services flash PMI disappointed. France was slightly better than expected, but Germany obviously has a big weighting in the Eurozone economy, and subsequently the Eurozone flash PMI was slightly down. But we're looking out for the US flash PMIs later today. 53.5 is the expectation on manufacturing, 55.6 on services. So yeah, that's broadly speaking what we're looking out for. My chart of the day is the DAX. Now what we have seen is the DAX basically moving sideways. It's broken this uptrend channel in the last, which has been in place for about 6-7 weeks. Broken that in the last week with some sort of more negative candles coming through, certainly in the last couple of days of last week, and yesterday very mildly consolidating. But look at these momentum indicators. The DAX, MACD lines have crossed lower. The stochastics have also given a sell signal. RSI not yet below 70, but if that fell below 70, that would be all three of them giving negative signals at the same time. This is basically sort of coming as this market is consolidated. Now consolidation doesn't necessarily mean a big correction, and that support at 12,900, really 12,910, is a key level, certainly I think near term, and that would be a top pattern if it completed to the downside, but obviously it's not there yet. It's about 100 ticks away from doing so. Market is broadly consolidating, not really doing a great deal. You can see that on the hourly chart, whereby the momentum indicators and the moving averages are taking on a far more neutral configuration. RSI buzzing between sort of 40 and 60, that's very neutral. MACD lines around neutral as well. Stochastics slightly positively configured, given that they keep turning up around 40, going towards sort of 80. So yeah, just a very slight positive configuration still on momentum, and but nothing really in terms of sort of direction. Really, this is a sideways move, and you're looking for a breakout. So you need sort of 13.095 really as a sort of breakout, or 12.910. So around about sort of 180, 185 ticks of sort of band that we're trading in on the DAX at the moment, and you're sort of fairly quiet within that. So until that resolves either upside or downside, you'd sort of be unwilling probably to take a directional punt, especially if Wall Street starts to correct back as well. You might start to see the DAX sliding in conjunction with that. But for now, we're sort of broadly settled. But those corrective indicators on the MACDs and stochastics are a warning sign, certainly. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.